Today is known as Maundy Thursday in the Christian calendar. It's the day when Jesus shared in his Last Supper with his disciples, and it's also the day where we remember him washing his disciples' feet. You might like to look up the passage in John chapter 13 to remind yourselves. I want to look a little bit at this today. As I think about this passage, I'm reminded of the group Engage that I lead at St Giles. It's a group composed of 11-plus-year-olds leading all the way up to age 60, so a mixture of young people and adults. And we have lots of fun together as we explore what does it mean to live as a Christian in today's world. Last year we looked at this passage where we looked at Jesus washing his disciples' feet. And as part of that, there was an invitation to wash one another's feet. Oh my goodness! You should have seen some of the reactions. For some, that was just a step too far. It's interesting, isn't it? This act of washing one another's feet is a very intimate act in many ways. It involves physical touch. We don't usually touch one another's feet. It can feel rather humiliating. Some people didn't want others to go near their dirty, smelly feet. And yet this is what Jesus did for his disciples. Of course, at the moment it feels even more unusual because we're not allowed to have any kind of physical touch with one another other than those we might share a household with. There is something very intimate, very close up and personal about washing another person's feet. It seems to me that one of the things that Jesus was doing here was inviting his disciples to a level of intimacy and closeness that they hadn't experienced with him before. And yet he was doing something else too. You may remember what he said to them, particularly to Peter, who said, "You can't wash my feet." And he said to them, "As I do this for you, you're to do it for one another." Jesus was putting himself as their servant, not as one who was greater than them, but as one who came to serve. And then he was saying, in effect, we're all in this together. We're all called to serve one another. No one is greater than the next one. Coronavirus has done that a little bit for us, hasn't it? It's put us all on a level playing field. No one is exempt. Jesus said we are all called to serve. Usually on Maundy Thursday, all the clergy in the diocese travel to Peterborough, to the cathedral, and there we are asked to renew our ordination vows. Those vows are in essence vows to serve, vows to love. But of course, although those of us who are ordained made those vows publicly on the day we were ordained, all of us are called to the same. We are all called to serve one another. We are all called to see Christ in the other. I encourage you this Maundy Thursday to be reminded of Jesus washing his disciples' feet. To be reminded of that expression of intimacy. He calls you too into a personal and intimate relationship with him. Will you respond afresh this Maundy Thursday and say, yes, I choose to know you intimately and personally. You may just choose to spend some time in prayer and quiet as you invite Jesus afresh to have a loving, personal relationship with you. But also, let's be reminded of that call to serve, never more appropriate maybe than at a time such as this, a time when we're all in it together. Let us find ways to serve one another, however small that may be, as we model the servant king. You may like to click on the link in the description of this YouTube video, which will take you to that lovely worship song, The Servant King, calling us indeed to model him. God bless you.